So what I was saying is that this is the last month of Six Figure Systems. We have so many amazing things that we've accomplished. I am so, so proud of each and every one of you. I really am just so proud of all the progress that we've made together. And I would love to help you to make some plans for the next 6 months. Oh, here is Harmony. She's coming back in. Um, so within the next 6 months of, well, I guess it'll be 7 months of your business journey, I want to help you to make plans going forward. And we're going to do our last one-on-one call. So the link for that is coming up. You're going to see it very soon. And you can go ahead and book your one-on-one call to finish it out, to feel complete from this experience. And we are also going to talk about what it would look like if you wanted to do another round of six-figure systems. There's totally up to you, but I do feel like I've seen you guys all make really incredible progress within the past 6 months. And I feel like if we could just keep that going, I would love to. I know that you guys already have the initial six-figure systems. So instead of doing a separate alumni call, since the second half of the calls is regular coaching, what I decided to do, and the second half of the entire program is regular coaching, I decided to do an alumni round price, and that's going to be $2,500. So it's half the cost of enrollment. I think when you guys enrolled, it was 3,000, but less than you enrolled for and half of what the current price of the mastermind is. And I would just love to continue to be your coach. Like, I just think you guys are all really awesome. I've had so much fun with you. So if you want to keep going, let's freaking go. And if this is your last round, I am cheering you on for life. And I'm just so glad that you joined. And it's going to be awesome. But I will always be your coach in spirit. But I want to help you regardless of whether you're continuing or moving forward, set goals, make plans, and see how I can support you moving forward. So that's my spiel. I cannot wait to see you guys for those last one-on-one calls. And let's get started with some coaching today.
Hey
Also,
Megan, I have a quick question though.
yeah, you can ask anything. Yeah.
Um, Going into then another round, so then how many people do you think like will be in that group? What are you shooting for,
10.
including, okay,
My
10
goal is
total.
10
Like,
total. Two are already in it, two pre-enrolled. So there are two. One is a self-coaching scholars coach, and another one is a coach certified by the Life Coach School that found me through Stacy. But they are both super awesome,
okay,
and I feel like you guys would jive really well with them.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. Any other questions? We feeling good? Feeling ready for some coaching? Let's do it. The other thing I wanted to add is that yesterday I did underneath the bonus speakers, it should be. Okay, I will add this, but we did a P&L workshop with one of my clients, Tammy. And so if you have never done a profit and loss statement ever before, we are not accountants. This is not teaching you accounting. Full disclaimer, we're actually going to be doing another training for you guys at the end of March for how to do contracts and set up your legal contracts and things like that. But this is within the contracts. I was like meeting with her and talking with her, and she was like, yeah, just make sure you disclaim that you are not an accountant if you talk about finances. And I'm like, can do. So disclaimer, not an accountant, but here is how to do the P&L if you would like it. I know tax season is coming up. That's why we did this training, and I'm putting it right now in the bonus guest speakers. Are there any questions about like just random stuff for taxes or anything like that? I can't answer formally, but as long as we're feeling, the other thing I wanted to point out to you guys for your taxes, and I think this goes internationally as well. So Nadia, I'm pretty sure that there might be some other kind of form that you need to count me as a tax deduction. but I'm a tax deduction for you guys for sure. If you go down here to where it says contracts insurance W-9, there's a Six Figure Systems W-9. And this just says that, like, hey, I'm a legal business. We work together, and your accountant might need that. So just a heads up, that is there. All right. Who wants to start with coaching this week? And start with a win.
Okay, I guess I can go.
I'm ready for you.
When I used my bread making for content last week.
I love that, by the way. That was so good.
Thank you. It was fun. And I was like, well, how can we tie this in? Okay, I need coaching on mindset and belief and staying in belief and keeping going.
Why? Tell me all the things. Done.
Well, I don't want to be dramatic. I'm like, I feel like I'm on the hamster wheel, just going. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. That's
Tell me how would you know that you're getting somewhere? And what are you doing that makes you feel like you're on the hamster wheel?
I wouldn't know I was getting somewhere if I had people on the books.
For consults and to become clients?
Yes.
How many were you hoping for at this point?
My goal for the last like couple of quarters have been 5.
5. Okay.
I had assigned one, was it like October? Because we're just kind of wrapping up. Was it right? Anyway, this is her last one. So whatever 13 weeks back is, about 13 weeks we had. Yeah.
Okay. So you signed one client and hey Nadia, it's good to see. I was like, there's a comment. So within this, of course, your brain is like, okay, my goal has been 5. What kind of things have you been doing to bring these people in?
Podcast, posting, some emails. I've done I did one virtual networking event. I did one in-person networking event. Followed up with people, the nice to meet you kind of things. That's what I've been doing lately.
Okay. And you also made freebies and things like that and promoted them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. So your brain is like, based on, we made a prediction about your business. We're like, if I have a podcast, if I'm posting, if I'm doing emails, if I did all this, 5 clients would come. And what the reality was is that 1 client came from this. So from that, we want to take a look at the data. We want to take a look at this, but I want to get the drama out first. Let's just let's just get all the thoughts out. And it's okay if they're negative. It is okay. Just bring me all of the thoughts because we won't be able to problem solve this like a CEO if we're like, whoo, feeling all the feels.
Probably gonna need a Kleenex. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the feels, and I just feel frustrated.
And I want to like allow space for that. It's okay to feel frustrated. As a badass CEO who's doing a really fucking good job.
Yeah, I don't feel badassy at all.
I know you don't. But because that's what our brain tells us. But you have created so much in this year. And I think we're coming up on a year of you leaving your job in June. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you left your job in June. And let's just like allow those feelings to be there. Like the frustrated, the I don't think it's a bad thing to feel negative emotion at any point in your life. What is the frustration coming from? We can just get really curious about it.
That I don't feel like I'm getting any traction.
Hmm. And because then you would see the 5 clients. That's how we would know that we would have the traction. So of course you're frustrated. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all the things and I'm not seeing any traction. I feel like it's extremely normal to feel frustrated. And I want you to think about what kind of actions are coming from that place.
Um, well, I'm always thinking about what I could, should be doing. Sometimes I'm doing it, sometimes I'm not.
Hmm.
Um, lately I feel like I've been giving myself a lot of permission to relax and not do, and it's relax and not sit here because I sit here thinking that I'm here specifically in my
Yeah.
office, at my desk, thinking I'm working, and sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
Mm.
Uh, sometimes I'm working, but I don't feel like I'm putting out good quality stuff. I feel like I am throwing a lot of shit at the wall, sorry, and nothing is. Now I just have a bunch of shit on the walls. Sorry.
We got all the shit. We're swimming in shit. And yes. And so what I want you to think about is like when you feel like you're not getting traction and you're feeling frustrated, what are you not doing?
Mm, I guess I'm not believing when I'm in that.
What about that one client that you signed? Like things have worked to some degree. Of
Mhm.
course, it's not the degree that we were hoping for, but you're
Right.
not seeing things as working. I feel like a lot of times when we're in this place, and by the way, everyone, our favorite thought is going to, I'm sure at some point, it's going to be some flavor of this isn't working, not getting any traction, not working fast enough. It's so normal. And I want you to know that, like, you are doing, if you're having the thought nothing is working, you're probably doing it right because we're, our society has a lot of beliefs about what it means to be working and how quickly it should happen.
Yeah.
But we're not celebrating the client. Have you ever been so consistent with your podcast, emails, posting ever before?
Um, I may have been more consistent before.
You think when you had like, because I don't think I've ever seen you create as many freebies and things like that as possible. Like I've seen you putting out a lot of stuff recently. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Maybe you just have shown up on my algorithm a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying. I do know that I could be more consistent. I could definitely be more consistent.
Hmm.
But and then I get that like I'm saying the same thing. And I know
Hmm.
I'm saying the same thing, but not everybody's hearing it and they don't hear the same thing. They're maybe not paying attention, but I feel like I'm just like, yeah, like I'm saying the same thing and just kind of talking to the air.
Yeah. And so what happens is when you're in this place, when you're like, oh, the way you started this call, how can I keep going? Right? What happens is when you have this thought, I'm not getting any traction, your brain thinks it's really useful. It's like, because it's trying to identify the problem. It's trying to identify the problem as like not getting traction. And it thinks by focusing on that, it's going to help you. Right? It thinks that by feeling frustrated, it's going to like somehow motivate you into taking some action. It's going to propel you forward in some way. But I want you to think about if you continue having this thought, don't feel like I'm getting any traction and feeling frustrated. You said you're already starting to see the beginning of it. What happens? The inconsistency. It starts to build
Mhm.
more time at the desk that we're not working. And what happens is you undermine your ability to get traction. And I think that there might be, I think that potentially a couple of triggers for this thought right now is you are going to have to take more action than, or you're going to have be in a more action cycle with the rodeo. And I also think we're coming up on the anniversary of you leaving your job. So I think that both of those things are probably like in your brain, like, hey, it's like, what would be the alternative? Let's just like do a little peruse. What if you were like, I want to keep going consciously? I think your brain was like, we started this conversation. I want to keep going. So we want to get traction. But what would be the alternative?
Finding something else to do, which I've been thinking about, like, and not stopping this, but supplementing.
Mm-hmm. What would it be?
Oh, I have all kinds of ideas.
I've been there too. I was like, I've got to go back to teaching. I'm going to do this. I'll be a contract coach. I was like, I had all the ideas.
I would love to be a contract coach. I mean, that wouldn't even be bad. VA is an option. Um, a friend of mine has gotten her license to sell insurance, and it's contract and it's on her schedule, on her time. It's like a 1099 thing. That's an option. Those are the two that have been brewing.
Okay. Okay. So the VA and selling insurance contract, like these are the two their
Mm.
brand is thinking about. When I think that we have a concept about goals in our society that if we set a goal, we have to do it in a certain amount of time and it has to look this way. And if we have to go in a different way to get to that goal, then it means something about us. And I think it was there's an amazing coach, Brig Johnson, and she did this speech at an event I went to. And she talked about how the goal is the grocery store and you're trying to get from your house to the grocery store. And there are going to be red lights, there are going to be detours, there's going to be a bunch of ways to get to that grocery store. But we don't make it mean anything about us, we can just take the detours. We can just do different paths. We can just try in different ways. But a lot of times we've got this like meaning about us that we're like, oh my God, if I couldn't get to the grocery store the way that I had planned, fuck it. Then it means something horrible about me. Versus like maybe this is a detour that we're choosing to intentionally take to like see how it goes. I want to know what comes up to think about like this finding something else to do, supplementing all this jazz. This is my thought. Why would
Um,
this, what if this is the way that you get to your goal? Not a detour, not a separate goal, not a separate thing, but what if you doing this is the way that you get to there?
Uh, I mean, I guess really it would be fine. I think, I think people would see it as, I think that people would think, oh, she didn't make it as a coach.
More. Tell me more. Like she didn't make it as what is making it mean?
Like she couldn't do it and support herself, so she had to go do something else.
Hmm. The funky thing is, we have no idea what other people are thinking about us, but I have a feeling that this might be a thought you're having about yourself. Just a wild guess, right?
Right.
She didn't make, like, also it's like she, like, do you see how finite it is? It's like didn't make it, couldn't do it. It's like it's pretty closed, right?
Mhm.
So what you what came up as you saw that?
I mean, that is what's keeping me up at night. Like,
Hmm.
I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm making it. I don't feel like I'm doing it.
Do you want this? Like I feel like in your lifetime, you really do want this. You want to make it as a coach. You want this to be your full-time thing.
I do.
Okay.
I absolutely do. And I know I will get there, but I just feel right now I don't feel so heavy.
Yeah. Of course, if it's like didn't make it, couldn't do it, man, those are really hard thoughts to be thinking and a lot of pressure to put on your business. Versus maybe it's like, I'm going to figure out a way to make it. And the way that I'm figuring out a way to make it is by maybe adding a little supplemental income. I'm going to choose to do things that bring this business around. Maybe your work is a VA. Maybe you end up coaching the VAs. Maybe you sell insurance and you find out some contacts at different businesses and you end up doing a little coaching for them. But just because it's like, what if this is the way to the goal and you're shitting on it?
True. That's true.
What if this could be the in? What if this is the moment when it was a redirect in the right direction? And this is going for it. You have been going for it, and that's awesome. And now we just need to change course for what going it looks like for you. So now instead of it being so heavy and being like, okay, I don't know why some of us have different circumstances than other people. I don't know. Sometimes we work for different circumstances. Other times it's just what the world gives us. But I do truly think that your life has been changed by coaching. I do fully believe that you are supposed to bring coaching into the world, and you already have in an amazing, fucking amazing capacity. For the people, I'm telling you, my grandmother has your journal. You've made her life a better place just by being in it and trying to do this work. And a lot of people you'll never meet. That is amazing. And I want you to feel so proud of this work that you've done. Like, damn, I have given it my all. And now I'm going to take a minute to course correct, but we're not stopping this. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. And I'm choosing as the CEO of this, as a badass CEO of this business, I'm like, looks like we might need to do a little supplementing. Might need to do a little bit of this on the side. But I'm going to show up as a coach everywhere I go. And I'm going to be in this energy every single place that I go. I know that for insurance companies, you have to go door to door. I had one of my clients did it. and they have to sell to different businesses. That is millions of contacts right there.
True.
Same with being a VA. It's like, I'm sure that there are companies where you could just get access to a whole bunch of people that could use your help. And you've learned a little bit about business and how to curate things. And maybe they've got goals for their businesses. If you become connected with people who are also trying to curate their goals, maybe it's not the way it looks. Maybe it's not the swanks that we initially thought it was going to be. And maybe the swanks are still coming. And we can still do this to supplement in the meantime. I still have a career coaching client that I work with. Still do. I just love her. I think it's awesome. Completely not my ideal client. And I still enjoy coaching her. And I still feel like it was a good choice for my business. Sorry, I rolled over my dress and I'm like I was like, you're just, it's like, it's a moment. I'm really ruining the moment here. But I want you to see that, like, it's not that she didn't make it as a coach. She figured out a way to make it as a coach. She figured out a way to do it and support herself no matter what. And then she continued to build her coaching business and built up her network of completely new people. And that is how she got it done.
Yes, that's true.
Tell me your thoughts.
So one of the thoughts, like the VA thing,
Mhm.
it's like now I have to go promote a whole nother thing.
Have you ever heard of Fiverr? Fiverr?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to promote there?
I don't know.
Does
I mean,
anybody
I've
have to
never,
know that you do this at all?
say it again.
Does anybody have to know that you're doing this at all?
Right. So like I can like I've gotten a little bit over that, like on the VA thing. Cause I mean, it's a natural thing. I did it for 20 some odd years. And it could be another business. So, but what I was really thinking was like the actual work of like, so do I set up a whole like a DBA and like another Instagram and promote that? Like those were like all my thoughts, which I'm like, whew.
Let's
But
so how much money do you want to bring in a month that this could supplement for?
I like right now, I would just like something coming in instead of everything flowing out. Right
Okay.
now.
How much? Let's just like
So
shoot for a number.
$3,000, $4,000, four, let's say four.
Let's do $4,000. Okay. So $4,000 coming in every month. With your experience, you could absolutely promote this as a VA and you could do that as work. Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I can do all of it. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
there may
could.
be new tech stuff that I don't know, but I can get up to speed on it.
Okay. So what if you, with the DPA, I'm not sure what that is,
A
but
DBA, doing business as, like for the name of a doing business as, naming the VA
doing
company.
business as. Gotcha. Love business. Sorry. I was like, but what if this is the way that your coaching business grows? Is by having this $4,000 a month coming in, that you are able to support yourself and do this kind of things. Do you believe that you can make 4,000 as a VA?
I guess. I mean, so I feel like that opens up the same problem of
I think it does too. I was
getting
like,
my name out there and promoting it and getting clients.
mhm. So I think so it's like your brain is like, we've come up with the solution. that might have a similar subset of problems. Like I was talking with one of my clients and she's amazing at functional medicine. And she was like, I'm really struggling with business. So I really want to be a business coach. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, this is what you're also working on. It's sounding like the confidence in clients marketing is an area that you're like, okay, I want to grow this. I want to work on this. So if we're thinking about VA versus insurance and things like that, can you make 4,000 selling insurance a month?
That I'm really not sure. I don't know enough about it. I'd have to
Well,
do some research on it.
the main goal here, though, is that we can see that you could bring another income in. You can supplement things. And again, I think that this one might be a similar thing. It's like if we are, unless you go on a site that already has VAs, you know what I mean? Unless that's that you don't have to do any of the self promotion and things like that, that would be that's the way I was thinking you meant VA versus like promoting yourself as a VA, trying to find clients through organically through social.
Right.
I would recommend that would be the way, or like the insurance side where it's like someone just you show up and you do your job and they pay you. But within this, you're not stopping coaching, right?
Right.
Came here to say this. I was like, because yeah, so I think Nadia brought up the point like, yes, if you believe that you could make 4K as a VA,
Right.
could you make the same as a coach? And I think that the belief is not quite there yet that you could make 4K as a VA. So it's like, we probably want to supplement with a different alternative income. At least maybe not in this capacity. I think on the other side of things. But
As
if
far as like trying to start another business. You're right, because I feel like then it would be dividing my energy and time and brain trying to raise two babies.
Mhm. Versus just focusing all that energy on your baby and
Right.
having like, I think the way we talked about when you had your full-time job, thinking about it like a part-time job. It's like, okay, I've got this full-time job and my full-time job is coaching. And this is kind of like my part-time gig that I'm just supplementing some income.
Right.
But I want you to know that like, if the path to a full-time coach involves you potentially going back to supplement your income, I want you to know that that is making it work and that is doing it to support yourself. I think that the pressure that you are putting on yourself, it's creating a lot of stress. And I think that you're like, I've been doing that. And I want to think about like, what would it look like to support yourself and supplement the income? Would that feel better for you?
Maybe. Um, maybe.
What's coming up?
What's coming up?
And Nadia said, if you need an income, get a job, but use your mind and energy on your coaching business. That this is your full-time job. You're a full-time coach that is just bringing in supplemental income. And then take a look at what's creating the results in your business. And then we can go into the problem solving, like we were talking about at the beginning, being like, okay, but I know that we can't problem solve unless you feel, I wanted to move here, get you
Mhm.
feeling good about this. And then let's problem solve the coaching business too. And then what if we were saying that like Alicia was saying that like putting all of your energy and effort into the coaching business to be a full-time coach, like that's what we're going to be doing. So it's like, yes, income is going to be coming from a different location, but you are still a full-time coach, even with a supplemented income.
Correct. Yeah.
Still full-time coach. Like you're not giving up on this dream.
No.
Hell no. So
Mm.
it's like your brain giving you all of this grief about like, oh my gosh, I have to go, like I'm going back and I'm gonna, like I couldn't make it, didn't make it as a coach. It's like, you're still gonna make it. You have made it. You already are an incredible coach. You have made it. You can do it. And you're choosing to support yourself as you continue to make it even further and fully support yourself. Your journey looks different than you thought it would. And of course, it's disappointing and frustrating. It's like, I think that your brain was like, we leave job, we do the things, and then then people will come. And we're learning that we're going to need to switch some things around a little bit. And that's okay. We've come to a detour in the road to get to the grocery store, but we're not giving up on the grocery store. We're just taking a different route. And then let's take a look at this and figure out what strategically we want to change to keep moving this business forward in the meantime.
Right.
What's coming up for you?
That I probably do need to put more energy right now. Get back to an excited place about working on promoting the coaching business, and then look at want something else to bring in and like really figure it out and get it in place. Which really will not be till mid-April that I
Yes.
do something else because I'll be busy and gone. But in mid-April, be committed to figuring out something to supplement.
So it's like, while we think about that, it's like, notice that your brain is like, we have to figure this out now. It's like, until April, we are going ham in your coaching business, along with doing the rodeo as a full-time coach. It's like, we're doing all the things, but
Yeah.
having these thoughts about like, she didn't make it as a coach, it's like, we are not even worrying about that until April. Do you think that your brain can like
Let go.
compartmentalize this part of you that's like really trying to cry out?
I think so.
Okay. Second question. What does this part of you need to feel safe to go hard on your coaching business until April?
Um, I think I need to. I know. I think I just have to suck it up because I'm not sure what I need to. I've been working on like trying to find a thought that I can cling to, and that I feel like that makes it feel desperate.
Okay.
But I
So
need a good thought that I can
what
use.
about like something that like, it's like, I'm financially safe. I'm going to figure it out, but I really want to go for it for this next month and a half. I really want to like go in all in, and I want to like, it's like, I'm safe. Like I used to tell myself when I was like in this stage of my business, I just left in that first year, I was constantly reassuring myself that, hey, I'm safe. It's okay. I'm financially okay. Not going to be out on the streets. We've figured out a plan for this. We've decided that like, and we gave ourselves time and then we're reevaluating it. But I really, really want to go for it. There are people I know I could help. My swanky humans are out there. And until mid-April, April 15th, tax day, we are going for it. The world is going to know who Demetria is. And we can figure out what of the A line we want to keep. But I want to think about like, let's go and let's sign people. I know that there's a rodeo and things are going to be going on, but I want you to think about like you said the mindset and yes, you're leading the swank movement is what Harmony said in there. Like, how does that feel? Like, regardless of where the income is coming from, do you want to be the leader of the swank movement?
I do. Yes.
Let's fucking lead the swank movement.
Yeah.
I want you to think about what is the thought you shifted, like your body shifted. There was a thought that happened. What was the thought there?
I just, when she said movement, I'm like, I just saw a bunch of women like marching down the street.
Yes, yes. And you are leading the charge. You are awesome, Demetria. Like I mean, like the way that you talk about things and the way that you have created all of this awesome content. Let's lead these swanks. They need a leader. Might as well be you. No one else is talking about it.
I'm gonna work on these things.
What is that's a thought that you can keep with you to quiet your mind and actually just show up for this next month and a half and go for it.
Um, I'm not stopping.
How does that feel?
It feels good. It
Maybe just
feels
like a slightly more elaborate emotion.
I know you don't like mine feels good. It feels determined, and in my mind, I see myself like, and I've never been in the army, and I don't know, like
Mhm.
walking through mud and fatigues. That's like, I'm
Yes.
not is what I got a lot of visuals today.
I know. I'm like, that's good though. That I think that's on a sign. I think it's always like whenever I get visuals about things, I think it's a sign that we're on the right track. They need a leader. My aunt is one of them. She needs the swank movement. She needs to see that she's a badass single woman, even when swank and thriving. Like, I want you to think about from this place that I'm determined. Are there things that we want to shift here? And I think we talked about like just focusing on the next client.
Mhm.
So it's like, what do you want your goal to be for until April 15th?
Um, it, I think right now, like talking to as many people as possible about my coaching business, because I will be out and about and seeing a lot of people. So telling as many people as possible that I'm a coach and continuing to do my marketing and stuff.
I want you to do the marketing and stuff, all of this jazz from the energy that you came with that pink dress for the Valentine's Day thing. Do you remember that like Valentine's Day, like that pink leatherette dress? I want you to,
So not me, but I wore it.
I bet you looked freaking awesome. And just like you, like showing up and being like, yeah, I want to lead this. I am ready for my people. I want to show up and be this unstoppable force for them. And I'm not stopping.
Okay,
I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you for the coaching.
I love and literally anytime. And if there's anything like we are cheering you on, keep posting. I haven't posted or like gone to the group on Instagram, but like we are all cheering you on. We are all supporting you. This is the hardest part. This, I promise you, it's the hardest part, but I'm so proud of you for not stopping.
Thank you guys for the comments.
Yes.
Ladies,
And
guys a lot.
um
Ladies.
Harmony said need to leave or she said we're gonna bounce back. When we feel the lowest, we bounce back with beauty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I really love that. Does anyone else have some motivation and love or anything for Demetria? Or are you open to it?
Yes.
I just have one observation I think is just interesting and that I put in the chat, that whatever the solution that Megan coached you on, it seemed like you were bringing the same emotional energy and the same emotion to that solution. So I'm wondering if that is just a different inroad, you know, if you can really identify what you're feeling, like, is it fear?
Maybe, yeah, fear that it might not work.
Yeah. And what would happen if it didn't work?
I have to go back to work somewhere.
Yeah. And what would happen if you had to go back to work somewhere?
That would be the people seeing that I couldn't make this work.
So is it the fear of failure that is paralyzing you from trying? Because you talked about just being resistant, sort of wasting time, sitting at the computer, not doing a whole lot. Um,
Maybe, possibly. And I guess maybe I'm telling myself when I'm here, like, I don't know what else to do,
mhm.
and it may be really fear of failure.
Yeah, could be. If you ask yourself, what if you knew what else to do, what would you come up with? What kind of list would you come up with?
I keep going back to webinars, which I have one coming up. Like all the same things. Maybe I need to try to find some new avenues.
Like what?
I really don't know. Like I'm not sure. But I do probably need to think about it. Like
Tell me what you're currently doing.
I have
She's
a yeah,
Mhm.
podcast, posting, Instagram. I have a Facebook group.
And frequency. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So what if I was just on a coaching call with Brooke yesterday and she was talking about goals and Brooke Castillo and she's like, great. What if your goal actually took, you know, I don't know how often you're posting. But this person was saying like, okay, so I post 3 times a week. Well, what if it actually took you posting 5 times a day? Would you do that? Just because we underestimate the amount of effort it's going to take, and we overestimate our ability to reach a goal within a certain timeline. So what if it took more effort? Like, I know you've said you feel like you're doing everything. Do you feel overworked?
No, I'm not.
Okay, interesting. All right. So,
I mean, I might feel that way, but I know it's not true.
right, yeah,
And I think I feel that way when I think that I've done all the things and nothing's working. But
yeah. But maybe you question that thought, have I done all the things? And have I done them often enough?
right.
And
Yeah.
maybe it's like, we need to get you on some podcasts. Are you pitching yourself to other people's podcasts? Are you doing collaborations? It's like, this was the plan. This is what we thought it was going to be. But how can we take what you're already doing and just get creative with it? You're already
Mhm.
getting creative with like the way you talked about with the bread, but it felt stagnant. And I think that like if we can just like take another avenue and be like, okay, so I know how to podcast. How can I take that skill I already know how to use and use it in a different way to help me grow?
Right.
Maybe it's not something completely different. Maybe it's just using the same skill that you already built up this year that I think you've done for a reason. I think that you have built up all of these skills of learning how to email, podcast, post, go to virtual networking events, do webinars, following up with nice to meet you, freebies. What if all this was for a reason so you could learn how to get really creative with it now?
True.
I guess I would invite you to let your own brain come up with those things because your brain wants to tell you, I don't know. Your brain keeps wanting to tell you, you've done everything. It's too hard. We don't know what else to do. Let's do something else. Your brain's just trying to conserve energy. That's all.
Yeah.
But you are one smart cookie. And I bet if you really, really said, okay, brain, I see you, but I'm going to ask you to work now and ask yourself, what if you did know? I would be just so interested to see what you came up with and how that energized you and made you feel determined.
Okay. I'm gonna get on it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm just like, I really do think that like this is the part where digging deep and being like, all right, so this is the plan. The plan is not creating the result I want. What else? But I think coming from this place of like, I'm not stopping, I'm determined. What else do I want to do? And how do I want to shift these things? And I would recommend like keeping the things that you're doing currently and then adding on different things instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean? Instead of just like getting rid of stuff completely, let's get curious about like, okay, how could I use this in a different way? What could I do here? How can I use the people I already know? But I know this is the worst part. It's a shitty this is that hard part, and I know that you really want this. I know that you really want this, and so we're just figuring out a new way.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course, I love you, lady.
I love you too.
Yes. Oh, and also Alicia brought up a really good point. It's like, okay, if we go to the fear thing, the worst case scenario, someone else might be like, oh, she failed. Couldn't do this coaching business. But it's like, I don't want to die. This is where my brain always goes, at least. But it's like, if I have to go back to work somewhere, it's like, okay, but I'm not going to leave this planet without getting this coaching business off the ground. And it is off the ground, but like continuing this momentum, it's like, I don't want to give up on this. So people are going to think what they're going to think. People are going to judge me. People are going to think that it didn't work. And I'm going to let them think that, but that's not their mission. It's mine. And I think one of the things that like, they do this study that like all these people, were towards the end of their life and they never regretted the things they did. They always regretted the things they didn't do.
Right. That's true.
And so it's like, let's do things. Let's go for this. Like, this is your, as far as we know, one life. So you are doing an amazing job. You've made it count. Let's just add on some more things to reach your swanks and your people.
Okay. All right. Thank
Love
you.
And Alicia's like, keep following it too. Would you survive it? Follow the thread, see if there's value there, and uncover your own resilience. I'm proud of you, lady. That was some good shit. Who else wants some coaching today? Alicia. I had a feeling. I was like, give us a win and then let's go in.
I don't know how much coaching I need. I just need, but an update and I'll talk, sorry, I had to get something in the crock pot here. So
Okay.
I gave a webinar last night. I don't know, I think maybe 40 people signed up and I think I had 14 show up, which was the largest number I've had show up live, which was super fun. Had a bunch of people asking for the replay. The problem is that it didn't record. I left some technical issues until the very end and then I was scrambling and then I didn't get it recorded. So I thought, okay, when I report this tomorrow, what's Megan going to say? And she's going to say, do it again next week. So I've already got it scheduled for next Monday. I'm doing the
Do you
same.
really?
Yeah, I do. I already sent out the email. I already posted it in my Facebook group. Like, I think I got one consult so far out of the webinar,
Fucking
which
awesome.
is cool. And yeah, just continuing to practice the skill and learn that, learn how to do it, learn how to be effective. I still don't spend a lot of time on sales, the pitch, but I'm trying to seed it more throughout the webinar, why these things are important. Anyway, I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I just like, I love this. And so it's like, we're seeing that a lot of things are working. What works for you when you're doing these webinars?
What do you mean? What works
Like,
and
what worked for you to get 40 people to sign up and 14 to come live? What, like, have you been doing differently for you to have the most people to come live?
Oh, yeah, that was a surprise, honestly.
Yeah. Something is probably working.
I think I'm being more intentional in my emails. I think I'm being more consistent and yeah, with that intention, just really bringing themes. There's just a lot less randomness to my emails and my marketing. And I really am not being consistent in the Facebook group or social media. I'm really just concentrating on the emails. And I think that I'm building more credibility. And the
How?
more of these, well, through the emails, but also the more of these that I do, the more people are going to realize like, oh, there's value. Like there's value to coming to these. This isn't going to be a waste of my time. She's going to explain something or I'm going to get a chance to ask a question. I don't know. That's my hypothesis. I have no idea. It could have been the moon. Who knows? But
Probably not just the moon. Probably something that you're doing is working. What would you like to improve for the next one on Monday?
get my tech shit figured out for sure. Like what the heck? I just don't know what I did or what happened or anyway, I've got to figure that out. If I'm going to do more with these webinars, I've got to figure that out.
What you also mentioned spending time on the pitch.
Yeah, I didn't do any testimonials. And I just didn't, part of it is that I'm it's like turning the Titanic, right? I'm inching my way away
Yep.
from lecture to sales. And, like I gotta inch it this way. And I still feel like these presentations are more of information relaying and than self-promotion. And so I even sort of said, like, if you're here, you've been getting my emails and you see my Wednesday win. So you've been seeing all the testimonials of how this program is helping people. So,
I just think this is interesting. Self-promotion. This is a thought. I was like, I wonder
Really, Nadia, really?
what'd you say?
She said,
Yep,
"Really?"
and I think it's from the words right here. Self-promotion.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is that your thought?
Because that's what it is. Facts, girl, facts.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Self-promotion. Okay. Is it?
Oh,
What
helping
if
them.
it's information relaying to help them get what they want?
Oh, okay.
Tell me what's the thought that you have.
Oh, that's totally different, actually. I
Why?
could talk about that.
Why?
Because then it comes focused on them and not me. Duh.
Yes, right? So if you're going in every time that you sell and you're thinking that it's for you instead of to serve other people, it's going to feel
Yeah.
terrible the whole time.
Yeah.
This is it. Yes.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yes. 2,000 people want what you can help them get.
Yeah.
So what if all 40 of these people that have enrolled all could really use your program?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 40 people on this that have registered that could really use your program. Why would you not tell them about the program?
Because I don't think they could all really use it.
Do you think it could hurt them?
No, I mean, I think it'd be fabulous for them if they all did it. Yeah, no, they would be better at whatever it is there. Yeah, it would help them for sure.
Tell me why.
Um, yeah, because they would be so much stronger. They would enjoy their hiking so much more. They would look forward to it. They would feel better afterwards. They could spend more time enjoying their surroundings and not worrying about keeping up with their friends or partner, or worrying about will they be able to make it back down? How badly are their knees going to hurt? When they should take their Advil? Um, yeah.
So is it self-promotion or is it not serving them? If you haven't sold it like this,
Yeah.
could it be potentially?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, great, thanks for coming, and I'm not helping you. Goodbye.
Right? And so this was the thought that got me. It was what is going to help them more? 60 minutes or 6 months?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Because they leave that webinar and it could be the best lecture they've ever had. You could teach them the most about all of the things that you could ever teach them. And if they don't apply it, then it was not helpful. It was helpful, but it wasn't as helpful.
Hmm. Yeah. And yeah. No, you're totally right.
What is the thought shifting here?
Well, then I should give them a worksheet so they can go do it.
Do you go and do worksheets in this group that
No.
you're paying for? It's like I know that a lot of people
I hate that. I hate that. And
hate
that's
it.
why I have not, that's why I have not released, like, that's why I'm trying to figure out this hiker fit situation, because I don't want people to just buy stuff that they don't follow through with, that they just let sit in their inbox. Like that
But we're
is,
not doing hiker fit right now, right?
no,
We're
no, no,
doing
but I mean, that's my whole thing. Like, I don't want it to be a waste of time. For people to,
yes.
purchase either with their money or their time, something and not have a real change from it. Like that makes me upset.
Okay, and not use it, right?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that that might happen.
Yeah, no, it does.
There are people that are going to buy your stuff and they're not going to show up, and that's totally fine. But that doesn't mean that you've done something wrong.
No, no, no. Of course. No, I've
Yeah.
had that. Trust me. Yeah.
You know, but coming from here, if we're thinking about like we've got 40 people who have registered, more coming on Monday. What do we need to be thinking to help them to actually tell just and instead of thinking about selling, if that word is like triggering to your brain, like that's fine. We can switch up the semantics a little bit. And what if we are just telling them information that is relaying them to help them get what they want?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Can we give them some more information to help them get what they want? This is beautiful.
Yeah.
What is your thought when you said all this?
Um, yeah, I'm just thinking now about tying it. I think there is actually value of going back and doing this webinar again.
I think so too. I think it happened for a reason.
The same thing, but just tying in because it was a guide, it was called Ageless Adventures, a guide to thriving as a mature hiker. And, so I'm giving them tips how to thrive, all these things that happen as you age and then what to do about it so that you can continue to thrive. And it's like, and so now it's just a great wrap up, at the end. Like now, if any of these things are limiting you from thriving and being the hiker that you want to be for the next decade, looking forward, not just today, but looking forward, then I can help you with that. And here's how I can help you. Yeah. No, that becomes less of dog and pony show.
Yeah. And like talking to them, being like, how are you good? Like when you think the thought, I can help you with that. How does that feel?
Uh, like,
Genuine, authentic, honest,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
just stating the facts.
Yeah.
I want to add to that, like,
That
what?
was obvious.
It feels obvious, right? I
Mhm.
want to, and I know that you mentioned, like not necessarily always coming from excited, but like also like you really can help them with that. Like I really like, and I want you to imagine they signed to work with you and they're getting the help and they're getting the results that like you're saying in your Wednesday testimonials. Is that like when people like message you and they're like, "Hey, like you changed my life for this hike." How does that feel?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I mean, I grin into ear to ear. It's better than if I did it myself, It's
Yeah. So I want you to know that like you have some power over these people's lives.
Mm,
Like you have this opportunity, and I think the world put these 40 people in front of you for a reason.
mhm.
They want to be your next testimonial. They want to be feeling all of this.
I don't know what happens. I don't know why my cursor messes you up.
It's all good. You're their person.
Mhm.
They've come to you. So what you talk about, like the program itself, like let's show them how awesome it could be. You do so much in that program. You do nutrition. Like just like give them the information.
Mm.
At least tell them and be like, it's like if you want to look, if these are things you want to look forward to in the next decade, I can help you.
Mhm.
It's like, here's how we would go through and you would do which one are we selling in this one?
Well, I was selling the knee pain group, but
Let's keep selling it. Let's don't change too many circumstances. But like, let's talk about like how you can help them.
Mhm.
What would that look like?
Yeah, we would address the strength and the flexibility, all the things that, I mean, many of the things that I talk about in the webinar.
You had a different thought and then it's like there's something I feel like it's a hesitation in the thinking right now.
Oh, no, I was thinking about because I was going to tell you, I reached out. So I did a Wednesday win on, which is my version of my testimonial
Mhm.
emails, and on a client, just summarizing a client. And I reached out to her and I just said, hey, I was thinking about you. I was, sharing this. And she's like, I get your emails. It was so fun to see my story and your emails. Anyway, we started chatting back and forth. And then I pitched Hiker Fit to her. I'm like, well, hey, if you are looking for, if you're ever looking for blah, blah, blah. And a couple days went by and she emailed me back yesterday and last night, actually, she says, I think I am interested in this Hiker Fit thing. I'm needing a little extra motivation and feeling kind of like I need some extra oomph. Tell me, send me the details. So I don't know, that was just something that came into mind, I guess.
I'm proud of you, of course.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. Because you've got what they need.
Yeah, yeah. So I think when you were talking about former clients reaching out to you, she was just fresh in my mind because she wanted to climb this mountain in Maine called Katahdin, and it's a pretty aggressive climb. And she's had 2 knee replacements, and she wanted to do this before she turned 70. Everyone else in her family had done it, and she'd gotten the permit, and then she was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So, anyway, we trained, and she did it, and it was crazy. I'm not even sure I could do it, and yeah. So she just turned 70 and she's like, so I'm like, so what now? And she's like, well, I don't really know. I'm like, well, let me help you if you need some help.
That's like so awesome. I
Anyways,
want you to
that was
share
just,
about her in your presentation.
yeah, when you just said that, I don't know, that was a friend of mine.
But yeah, so I think it was front of mind for a reason. What if we talk about her on this webinar?
Yeah, well, I just sent out the email last week,
So it would be perfect timing.
about her. So, um, yeah, but I mean, don't you think those people have read it already?
Some of them, not all of them, most likely. You know what I mean? It's like, why not? Worst case scenario, they hear again. Best case scenario, they get to hear and they get to experience all of this excitement again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Alicia, why are you so resistant? Like, there's so much resistance.
Talking to you.
I know.
Why are you
I'm
not
like,
talking to me?
I'm like, let me just say, there's a lot of, I was like, what has thought changed? Because something going on.
Why are you not talking to me? We just laugh at each other, Alicia, because we know exactly what we're doing.
I know. You keep calling me out. I mean, I think a lot of it is still just, again, like turning the Titanic, and maybe that's just a thought, but if when you transition from a professional life where you help people, but it's against your ethics to self-promote, then I think that's been, it's taken me 3 years to sort of shed this.
But
And
listen to even what you're saying, and this is obviously what's sticking, like you're self-promoting as if it's for you.
yeah.
I
No, you're
think
right.
you need to read your Wednesday wins, right? And get like, look at the results. And because the other thing is I wanted to point out as well is like when you're listing about like what they get in the program, you're talking about like what you're going to teach them and what they're going to cover versus talking about like their lived experience of the result of it, you know? So if you're like,
You're totally right.
it's like you have the cure to what they want. Like they've got this problem and you've got this cure, and you're like, so I have, it's just fascinating to watch because I'm like, you're not selling them like tar or like something that's like not good. You're selling them, and they've all raised their hand to say, I want this help. And I wrote down here, I was taking notes because I'm sorry, I kept jumping in, Megan. I can't help myself. When I say
No,
Alicia,
it's
I'm like, no,
perfect.
no,
I
no,
love
no,
it.
no. But like, what if the real value of your webinar was them being sold into your program?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like the point of it is for you to open that gate for them. Because they're never necessarily, it's hard for someone to jump from just being a bystander watcher.
Mm.
But this is your opportunity to like take their hand and be like this is actually like because you were also saying, sorry, I was taking notes, but I was like, you were saying things like, it's all the information you give them and you give them all this in the webinar. But it's like you can still do that and then position it as, and this is just one tiny part of what I help you do in your program.
Right.
And when you go through the program, these are the types of things, results you're going to have. Like it's literally going to give you exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The webinar is just the gate. I just feel like that's you just being like, come on in. This is exactly what you want.
Yeah. Like Stacy said, just opening the door to your store and like giving them a peek as to like the merchandise inside. I'm like, yeah, come in here because this outfit's gonna look so cute on you. And you just
But do you see how that's not self-promotion? Like
yes,
that's this thought. It's like I think it's against your ethics to not serve or help your people. That would be more unethical. in my
Yeah.
opinion.
that's terrible. Like, no, that's not at all against my ethics. Like that's exactly what I want to do. That's what I'm built for. It's what makes me tick. Like, of course.
Literally. I think that like this thought that it's against my ethics to self-promote, you're gonna have that thought again. You've said it before, it's gonna
Yeah, I
come up.
know. I think
I
it's
want you to
30 years
have
being
a
around.
redirect.
Yeah.
Redirecting your brain to be like,
Yeah.
it's against my ethics to not help these people. Thank you,
Right.
brain, for offering me that thought. Thank you, PT brain. Thank you, professional brain. But it would be like you see somebody that is hobbling and you're like, fuck you. It's like, here's a here's a worksheet.
My kids,
Get
every
the
time I see
download.
somebody with crutches or a cane, they're like, keep walking, mom, keep walking. I'm like, but it's not adjusted right. They would feel so much. They're like, mom, do not go talk to them. Mom.
Literally. But I want you to imagine that your brain is like the kids telling you not to help the person.
Yeah, that's so
And you
true.
can just like redirect your brain, be like, hey, guys, like I hear you, but like that person actually asked me to adjust their cane.
Yeah.
They like actually asked, like they've come to a webinar for me to, they came into my store saying my cane isn't working and I'm not going to just turn them away.
That's such a good thought. Like maybe I'm thinking I'm not invited, but
I
like,
think that you think it's not consensual.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Selling is consensual.
Yeah.
You
And
would
everyone that goes on a webinar knows they're going to be sold something. Right?
literally, I talk with Janae about this every week when
They
people don't
know.
sell
They,
on a
they
webinar.
don't, they
I'm not.
know.
Yeah. And I
They're
said it up
there
front. I
and
said
they
it
know
at the
that.
beginning. Yeah, I said it at the beginning, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my program, and then I'm going to answer all your questions. So stay tuned. You know, it's like even
What is
again,
the thought there? What's the thought?
I was underplaying it there too.
Yeah, you don't want to sell it at all because you think it's about you. And
100%.
what you need to shift is like it's for them.
So I'm going to just do some more intentional thought creation on how is this webinar for them, like especially right before, and just get into that headspace of,
Yeah, like read your own
It-
testimonials. You've changed so many people's lives with it. And so, look at that 70-year-old that achieved a goal she would not have achieved.
yeah.
I was gonna
Mm.
say before she died, that was a bit extreme, but you know what I mean? But like she just wouldn't have achieved it.
Um, yeah,
I wrote there are more 70-year-olds waiting for you.
Yeah.
sure.
And you said something, and I cut you off with the consensual, but you said like it's like I feel like I'm not invited.
Yeah, like maybe that was kind of a subconscious thought too. Like they didn't come here to be sold to, but they knew they were going to find out, right? And
Okay.
I send them a weekly, I mean, I send them emails 3 times a week, selling, offering, saying how I can help them, talking to them. So it's not like it's a surprise to anybody.
Well, and like I want you to imagine that you have a store and you're sending them emails from your store and they came to this event at your store. Like you are physically in a store and you're standing at the front of the store and you're telling them about the things that they could find in the store, and you have the best thing hidden in a box in the back closet. And like they're waiting for the big reveal. They're like, oh my gosh, we want that big thing. Like she's building it up. I came here, I spent an hour of my life here. And you're like, oh yeah, and I also have this thing in the black closet, but just shop around. Just like keep looking at the emails and I'll keep emailing you. But like if you really want it, what you have to do is you have to really fight for it. And you've got to really ask me about a consult. And you really have to like you have to do all the work, and I need you to fight down people to get to that back closet because I'm not going to tell you about it, really. Like you really have to hunt to figure out what that secret amazing thing is.
Hey, I did post a QR code, so that was something new to the
Great. Okay, awesome. Let's maybe like
So-
tell them what the
so
QR code leads them to. What
baby
does that look
steps.
like? We're going. That's what it's all about. But it's like the QR code, like what does that lead them to? What does it look like? How can we help them guide them through that journey instead of being like, oh, and here's a QR code, do your best. There are a couple other links on there. Love it for you. Bye. You know what I mean? It's like being like, I want you to, I want you to look like this. It's like, and
Girl, I got out of there as fast as I could.
you
I'm not,
ran,
I'm
which is
gonna
not
talk-
kind. That is not ethical. Like that is not ethical.
I'm like, okay, well, that's time. See you, bye.
Okay, great. Bye. This is not great. So it's like I want you to think about like it's like they have maybe they've done coaching programs before, maybe not. Maybe they want to like hear a little bit more about it. Maybe we need to make them feel safe to be like, hey, it's like I want to tell you how you go from where you are now to the stronger hiking. Let me show you what it would look like. When people come to me, they're just like you. They're going through the exact same things that you're going through. Then we do a consult. I talk with them about how I could help them, and we decide whether it's a good fit or not. Never pressure to buy. It's always just like a conversation. And then if you do decide this is a good fit for you, the way that you get to this is we work together every single week. And as I'm holding your hand, we figure out what hike you're going through. You're going to get the nutrition plan, and I'm going to be here to stand by you, and we're going to get this, and you're going to, it's like, just like, let me show you what it would look like if you choose it. Have you seen The Matrix?
Yes.
It's like telling what would happen when you take a blue or the red pill. I forget which pill it is.
Mm.
But it's like you're not even offering them the pill,
Yeah.
you know? You got to offer it to them. You got to be like, "Hey guys, this is fucking awesome. I want you to join. It's amazing." Okay, maybe not there. I was like, Bridget, we're slowly bridging toward, but like there were 70-year-olds on that call that wanted to work with you.
Well, yeah, and there were people who were not 70 who wanted to be hiking when they're 70. Like that was the whole point of that webinar, and that
Yeah.
that is really the point of the sales, right?
Nadia.
Oh, sorry, I'm reading at the same time. Yeah, sorry. The only thing I was going to say there was like, oh, this is one other thing I want you to think about, right? It's like that people actually want to be sold to, right? Just try that on. Like, see when I go into like when I went on a consult with Megan, I was like, I want to go into this program, but I have so much resistance. Like, sell me, like, help me, like, get over this hurdle so that I can get in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like that with so many things. I'm like, sell me it, because it's hard to just get yourself there.
Yeah, no, I just recently bought some new skis, and I kept saying that to my husband. I'm like, I want somebody to sell me. Like, I want somebody to tell me, what are the features? How am I going to ski? How am I going to feel? And every place we walked into, they were like, they're all pretty much the same. What color do you like? And I was like, I don't give
Yeah,
a flip
awful.
about the color.
That's what you're doing.
Oh, they
That's what
You're
think-
literally
you're
the
doing.
ski
You're
sales.
being the ski salesman. That's what you're just like, oh, it's okay. Anyway.
And I want you to imagine that they're like, I guess I have to go find some skis somewhere else. And they're hearing the same stuff everywhere versus being like, oh my God, I need some skis. And you're like, I want you to imagine that like you want to be the best ski salesperson that helps them the
Yes.
most.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's a good point. I did finally get some, and it was from a random shop that I just said, there you have a sign. Let's just go in there. And the guy said, sure, let me show you. These ones do this. These ones do this. These ones do this. But ultimately it comes down to color. And it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't give a flying flip about the color. He goes, well, then I'd go with what I'd go with, this is my recommendation. I was like, thank you. Oh my God, thank you.
Literally, like
I
Yeah.
bought them. I walked out with those. Are they the
Yeah.
best? Who knows?
Sorry, Megan.
no, this is it. Like, I want you to be the best ski salesperson ever for them. I want you to walk them through each piece. I want you to talk them through the features. I want you to be like, you are going to get this. This is why this is important. This is why you need this. This is what you get when you do other things. They're probably going to end up going to like sick. So the thing that is like insane about this, you're not just the best ski salesperson. You are not only selling them the skis, but you are selling them the skis, the coat, every single piece of equipment, giving them the mountain, helping them practice down it, and making sure it's the best ski for them, and like changing up the skis for them. Like you are giving them skiing. You're not just giving them skis. And that's why I want you to give them the experience of hiking again.
Wow, that's a good one. I'm giving them skiing. I'm not just giving them skis. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, what came up?
No, I'm just thinking, you just said a lot right there. I'm just trying to process. Yeah, no, that's good.
I love you so fucking much.
Thank you. I love you too, girl.
Thank you for being so open to us aggressive.
I know.
was like-
I didn't want coaching. I was just
I know
gonna
you
tell
didn't. I was like, we can coach you aggressively anyways. It was like, that's just how this goes. We love you so much. Please go give this gift of hiking to other people.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you for having these gifts within yourself
Oh,
and
well,
sharing it with the world. They're so lucky to have you on Monday.
thank you.
I
Thank
can't
you.
wait I can't wait to hear how it goes.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Of course. Love you, lady.
All right, love you too. Thanks, Nadia. It's your turn in the hot seat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, now I'm
Welcome.
like, like I'm more than happy to talk about you, Alicia.
Let's start us off with a win and we'll get going from there.
Oh God, what is a win?
That's awesome.
That's so funny, isn't it? That I'm like, oh dear. A win. Let's think of a win. Isn't it bad that I really struggle to think of wins?
It's human nature, not bad. Promise.
Um, I don't know.
You were doing a webinar, right?
Yeah, but that's not going great, so it's not really a win.
Well, we can say that like you're actually you're going for a webinar.
We
Oh,
could
I
say
want to hear
that.
all about it, Nadia.
I
All about it.
That is so funny. Now it's time to get your own back, Alicia. No, so well, I think I've been distracted this week. Well, not distracted, but I think it's been good because I've been focusing more on content, right? And like, so, but that has kind of distracted me slightly away from the webinar that I was going to do. I don't think I was ever fully behind the webinar. It was kind of, you know what I mean? So I just didn't really, like I have mentioned it a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 posts.
What is your thought about the webinar that's not making you fully behind it?
I think I've just been, because I've been focusing on, no, like I really want to get good at the content. Do you know what I mean? And then I feel like the webinar, I didn't really, it's not really solving a problem because it was like something like what was it, 3 mistakes they're making or something like that. Versus I'm like, once I've been really looking at my content and I'm like, no, it needs to be solving a problem. So just telling someone I'm going to help, you know what I mean? So I kind of was like, I not dismissed it, but
What if a webinar is content that you're just using on a bigger scale to solve a problem?
yeah, well, it is. But so then for that reason, then I'm like, well, the hook of it wasn't great, if you know what I mean, because I was like, I just wasn't really sold on it. I don't think.
Okay. It was like, what is this webinar?
It was 3 mistakes. No, it wasn't 3 mistakes. It's 3 challenges you must overcome
When is
to
this
sign
webinar?
clients.
When is it?
Well, it's meant to be tomorrow, but nobody has signed up, so it's not happening.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. What if you do, okay, tell me why.
Why nobody signed up or why it's not happening?
Why it's not happening?
Because nobody signed up.
Well, why are you not doing it?
I'm not going to do a webinar to myself.
Why?
I just think that what's the point of doing that? Like I know you can obviously use it as then a piece of content to market. But my thought is like if people don't come when I'm marketing it to come live, who's going to want to come to it? You know, like get it separately is my thought on it, which is obviously not good.
Telling me that you aren't thinking about the bigger vision of this business.
Okay.
If you, if we don't have a point, of course you don't want to do it. That's why you're not sold on it.
Mhm.
What if the point is to nurture your future clients?
Yeah. But my point in my head with that is that, well, if nobody's coming to it, if I'm promoting it to come live, then it's not something someone's going to want to just download separately. So in my head, basically what I'm saying is like nobody's going to watch it. What is the point of doing it?
Okay. To watch it. What's the point? So you're saying that like no one would ever watch this webinar because it's horrible.
I haven't made it yet, but no, yeah. I just think, yeah. Not that it's
Okay.
horrible, but just that nobody's interested.
No one's
No one's
interested
interested. That's the main thing.
in the
Nobody signed
3
up. Nobody's
challenges you're
interested in
making.
coming.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. So these thoughts are preventing you for thinking about like, I want you to come up with why do you think it would be worth it to do it?
Um, Well, it would just be practicing doing webinars, getting my brain to create the content for the webinar. I could use it as an asset, I could use it as a freebie. Yeah, there's loads of points to do it, but my head is like, it's just because there's no one going. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. So it's like if we only do things for like the instant gratification result, this is a lesson that you're going to have to teach your clients how to do too, especially at the beginning of their business. You can
Yeah.
use the clips as reels. You can do it as an asset. Like there are so many things that you could use. It's great positioning. 3
Mhm.
challenges you're making. You don't think anyone's concerned that you said challenges you're
No, you must overcome.
must overcome. You don't think that anyone's interested in these 3 challenges they must overcome ever?
No,
In 10 years from
well, in
now?
the history of world, yeah, this is what I've been working on this week, right? It's like, I for sure believe that I can coach people.
Excellent.
And I for sure believe that there are people out there that need my help. But the disconnect is that, again, it comes down to my audience. Like, there's nobody watching that is like there to come in. Does that make sense? And then this happening is just then continually to prove that true.
So it's like what we talked about like last week with the test, when you're like, I'm not going to give it my full all. Because if I gave
Yeah.
it my all and nobody came, then there would really be a problem, right?
Yeah.
You're not giving them a chance to come in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Coming
that's
back
true.
to Alicia's webinar, right? Imagine that she has her store. You know how to help coaches.
Yeah.
You know the mindset shifts that they're facing, and you are
Yeah.
one step ahead because of all of your business experience.
Yeah.
Are there a ton of coaches?
Yeah. Thousands.
Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of coaches, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to imagine that you have the store for them and you're doing this special event to tell them about these 3 challenges they have to overcome. They have to do these things to move forward in their business, and you don't tell them to come in. You don't tell them about the event at all.
Yeah. Oh, my brain's arguing. So I'm like, well, I did tell them a couple of times.
Told them twice, so obviously they should come in, right?
Yeah.
But what if that
Yeah, I think I was just thinking because nobody signed up straight away, I was like, well, clearly nobody's interested.
okay, so coming back to Alicia's point, which she was talking about with like Demetria, when she was like, what was it? It was like you undermine the effort and over it. So it's like I think we are underestimating the amount of effort.
Yeah, for sure. I know that you could do way more to try and get people into that webinar.
What could we try?
Well, just more posts about it. What else could I have tried? Just doing lives, like there just could have been a bigger build up to
Yeah.
it. But I think I only decided last Tuesday. So I only had
on our coaching call, because I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be consistent and you're gonna show up for yourself even when no one's watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that is the key.
Quote,
'Cause I think that
unquote.
happens with anyone that signs with me. I never know they're watching. They just come out of the blue and, sign. So that's normal, I think.
It's literally normal, even when no one is watching. We coached the other day on this. It's not all business. It's just these coaching businesses. You're like, I feel like this is my calling, that this is my purpose. Would you be willing to do a webinar to yourself for
Yeah.
this purpose?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that. I just need to, I'm just like, I would need to just make myself do it. Because again, like I normally just write them when I'm like, shit,
Let's
like I
just-
need to do it.
Yeah, let's get your brain in the habit of doing things even when it doesn't want to.
Yeah.
This is the shift that you've been asking for. You've been asking for an opportunity to show up consistently. We've been coaching on it. You're like, I feel like I can't get into action until there's a deadline. We gave your brain a deadline. Your brain's still like, I don't want to do it.
Can I
We-
say something real quick? Because I gotta go.
Yep, go ahead. Yep.
I just want to share. I saw this thing. this reel with Demi Moore recently, and she was talking about her role in A Few Good Men. I don't know if have you seen that movie, Nadia?
I recognize the name, but I can't remember it now.
So it's Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, and there's this really explosive courtroom scene.
Mhm.
It's iconic.
Okay.
And she talked about in that movie, they were shooting one whole day, they were shooting behind Jack Nicholson, behind him. Like he wasn't even in the scene. They were shooting, it was a courtroom scene. So he's giving testimony and they're shooting everybody else. And she said, all day long, he gave 100% with every single take. And he wasn't even on screen. And she said, that taught me so much about how to show up and how to be professional. And I've just thought so much about that. And so when you think about, I could tell in your voice, like, well, I could give it to myself, and I could just see like this energy that you're going into giving this webinar to yourself in. And I was just like, be Jack Nicholson, like just be
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson, no matter if anyone sees you,
Yeah.
it was just such a powerful thing. Anyway,
I've actually heard that story. I don't know where from, the Jack Nicholson one. I've not seen the movie, but I heard somebody talking about that, how he just showed up as if
you need
he
to
was
Google
being
that
recorded.
scene when you
I'll
see
I'll YouTube the scene and I'll add it. It's A Few Good
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah, A Few Good Men. When you see that scene, you'll understand like how could he keep that up all day and he wasn't even in the shot.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's my parting gift for
Yeah, no,
you.
that's a good one. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I
All
love
right.
this crew. Oh, you guys, I live for this. I'm like, this is just the best. Because it's like literally, a friend of mine said professionals follow up.
Pardon?
Professionals follow
Oh,
up.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Professionals show up. Even when.
Yeah.
In the best energy.
Yeah.
I love this thought. I'm literally gonna probably do a reel about this. Like, this is what makes or breaks the biggest businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I think that Brooke talked about when no one was listening, she had 2 subscribers on her podcast when the Life Coach School podcast came out.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 episodes are some of the most I've shared with people ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that is true.
I used to share this with my clients all the time because she showed up with her future in mind, not with her present or past in mind.
Yeah.
So this
okay.
is good for you, Demetria, too, thinking about yes, you're gonna have to hop. I love you. You are showing up as a professional that is a badass. So it's what would it take for you to go all in? And I want you to go not now, not 10 days from now, but 10 years from now. In 2033, 4, what do you want to look? It's dates, It's how do you want to remember showing up? You made it a goal to show up and do a webinar every single month.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you want to remember February 27th of 2024?
Yeah, no, that is so true. Because if I don't do it, then I'll be I've already kind of messed up that whole goal for the year, and I'll feel let down. You know what I mean? I'll be disappointed in myself for that. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it to myself.
You're going to do it with Jack Nicholson energy.
Yeah, I am.
So what if the result is and I want you to do this webinar for them, for the future
Yeah.
people. I want you to think about doing the webinar for them.
Mhm.
What would you need to think?
Well, this will help them. This is for them. If they learn this and they take on this, then it will help them move forward in their business.
Mm-hmm.
It's for them.
And I'm willing to do this even when I feel funky about it, even when I've got thoughts about it. I'm willing to show up for them.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I can go first and feel foolish and not feel great,
Yeah.
I will have this right now is going to be a story you tell your clients.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, but overcoming burnout was a webinar. that I did to myself. I didn't even record it because it was for NC State. I made these slides. I still have them up on my website. And I've used that webinar to talk about teaching the model in the past month more than any webinar I've ever done.
What
Because
do you mean?
I
You've
did this
used-
webinar that like I ended up doing it to no one. No one actually showed up from NC State because the kids were like burnt out from they were it's about overcoming burnout and they were like, we don't want to come up to another webinar. So I did this webinar to myself and I did this webinar to no one. I really wish I had recorded it. I was like, this is actually probably one of the best webinars I've ever done to talk about thought work, to talk about the model. I
Yeah.
talk about the burnout cycle. I'm like, this is what the problem is. This is what you think the problem is. It was very well done. I've given this to other people, literally like to teach them how to teach the model in a simple way.
You've given the webinar to other
Yeah,
people.
I've sent this to my clients to be like, use these slides as a model for
Okay.
your webinars to talk about the model because I think I did a really good job here. Like
Okay.
this content that I created in 2021 is serving people 3 years later.
Yeah, okay, that makes
Now.
sense.
So it's like, let's do this and let's make it like one of the best webinars you've ever done.
Yeah. Okay, no, that feels good.
Like, what would you need to think to make this the best webinar you've ever done?
I'm gonna make it the best webinar I've ever done. I'm going to make it as
I'm going to make this the best. It's like,
yeah.
what's the emotion?
Just determined.
What would you
Right?
need to do? Starting right now.
Well, I need to plan it out and
Mhm.
I need to plan it and just create it and then just show up tomorrow at 8 p.m. like I was going to, as if it's a room full of people and just like deliver it.
And well, people. I have 3 trainings that I'm now using as assets that I made annual plan, and 2 marketing ones that I've now used as assets as a bonus. If you sign up for a consult by Friday, you get this bonus.
That's interesting. But
And
you're
I'll
not
send it.
selling on it though.
Oh, I sell on it. Yeah, I still sell on it. But so this webinar you could
Mhm.
use and be like in the future webinars, let's say next month, because you're doing a webinar next month because it's who you are and you're becoming.
Yes, that is true.
Okay.
I do like that.
We're
Thank
doing
you.
another webinar. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be about something else, but you're going to be like, and as a bonus, if you sign up for a consult by Friday, I will send you the 3 challenges you must overcome with your consult notes
Okay.
after a consult. It's one of the best trainings I've done, regardless of whether or not you become a client. I want you to have this webinar. It's going to change the way you think about business.
Okay. Okay. I think, yeah, I just need to sell myself on making it so good.
Yeah, let's learn and let's sell yourself on the version of you 10 years from now is a really good webinar. Like she creates webinars in a day, no problem at all for her. She's a
Yeah.
badass. How many people is she presenting this webinar to in 2020? 34.
Hundreds of people.
Okay. I want you to deliver this webinar to 400 people.
Okay.
I love you. And if you were delivering it to 400 people, would you post about it between now and then?
Yes.
Post about it. Include links.
Yeah.
Now put link on story, send emails, schedule emails, even
Yeah.
if no one comes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna do it.
You've got this. I'm
Okay.
cheering you on. You're going to do
Okay.
amazing. And
Okay.
we can evaluate it and then we'll get more data from it and be like, okay, we thought 2 posts would bring in 20 people. Might take a little bit more for March. Maybe we need to plan for that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair
Okay.
enough. Okay.
I love you, Nadia. I love
Right.
everybody. And I will see you
Thanks.
next week. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.